All right. Section 6.2, day 1. Change the size of that quick. All right. So now we're getting into a little bit of some different terminology. And so one of the things we're going to look at with a triangle, is steal one off of these basic objects here. And so one of the things that we can do is if we draw perpendicular bisectors, so dealing with stuff that we had yesterday, if we draw the perpendicular bisectors and try to put them as best we can right in the middle. I know it's kind of hard because I'm making this go. If I go like that, and that's in the center, so that means this. And then I do another one in red. This is about halfway. Comes in here like so. Makes a 90-degree corner. That makes those the same. And then if I put another one in, I can't really use blue. So let's use, let's go orange. If I were to make the one in orange come up there, and the red one should have been a little bit further, maybe a little bit straighter. Get my orange back. That's 90 degrees here, and then this would be congruent to this. You'll notice on certain triangles that they all came together at a certain point. Okay, so that point right here where they all come together is called, first of all, if you have ones that all come together like that in the same point, those are called concurrent things. Whereas the point of concurrency, and this one's special, it's called the circumcenter. Okay, so the circumcenter is where 3 perpendicular bisectors meet. Excuse me. In a triangle. Okay, so that's called the circumcenter. And so what that means is, or what it happens in your notes packet for day 2, then once you find that circumcenter, this line out to here, oh, green's not very good. Can't use green. This is dark. Dark blue looks too much like, ugh. We gotta find something better here. Let's go. Oh, I'm still on the. There we go. This line here, out to this line there, out to this line there. All of these lines, I'm going to put them with 4 because they're the 4th thing that we had. If it's coming from the circumcenter, all of those would be the same. So what you're going to do on your worksheet for these first ones, you're going to find some measurements. And I know that looks kind of goofy and kind of weird, but they're going to be giving you a bunch of different numbers, okay? So let's put this in green here. If they give you, first of all, this is A, this is B, and this is C. If they give you this line from here to here is 10. This line from here to here would be 12, which green's very hard to read in there, so I'll put it in black. And then this line here is going to be 6. And it might say, and then this point in there is called G. If they say find BG. Now, you can kind of start making out all the different pieces. So if this orange piece out here was 10, and so is this one, because those are the same. Okay? Then if you know that this is 12, then this is 12, because those are all the same. And mainly because they're all perpendicular bisectors. That's kind of the gist of it. There is some extra fluff that we don't necessarily need, but the piece that we do need, it says from B to G, which we have that. It's 12. So you're just trying to figure out missing pieces here or missing sides based upon those. So just try to figure out what you can. Some of them you're not going to be able to use much after that. Like the 6, for instance, that was something that was just extra because it's not the same. The perpendicular bisectors are not the same length. Those were not marked the same. So do not mark those the same. Okay? So those, for instance, will not be the same unless it's a certain triangle, which it's not. So that would be it for those. Okay? And some other things that are going to happen is if you're an acute triangle, so like the one I had, that circumcenter is going to be inside the triangle. So if I have an acute triangle and I were to draw all the perpendicular bisectors best I can, circumcenter is going to be inside. Okay? If I'm a right triangle, so if I'm a right triangle and I do all the perpendicular bisectors, then if you notice where the circumcenter ended up, it's on the triangle. So for a circumcenter on this one, it's going to be on the right triangle. And as far as the last one, the obtuse triangle, if I make all those here, here, and here, now you notice the circumcenter is outside. Okay? So depending on the type of triangle it is, this will help you on the last couple questions. It'll say fill in the blanks, and it'll ask you things like which type. And when you're doing the circumcenters for those, it'll either be inside, on it, or outside, depending on what kind of triangle it is. So if it's acute, it's going to be on the inside. If it's a right, it's going to be on it. And if it's obtuse, it's going to be outside. Okay? And look one more time at your worksheet and see if there's anything else you need. Do one like this, if I can find a good example of one. Yeah, I better do one like this for you, and then I'll stop this one. So I got a triangle. Come in here. A perpendicular bisector there. One there. One there. So those are that's the circumcenter. Then if I make those lines go out to each of the corners, remember those are all the same. And so they will give you B, N, E, C, F, A, and D. And we have these corners like so, because they want to make sure that they're perpendicular bisectors. And what they're going to do is they're going to say ND, for instance, was 6x minus 2, and NE was 3x plus 7. Find NF. Okay? So that's what they're going to ask you to do for that. So, how do I do that? Well, first of all, if these are perpendicular right here, then that means that's on the angle bisector, which means this is congruent to that. So that means that I can take ND, or 6x minus 2, and set it equal to 3x plus 7. So if I subtract 3x to both sides and add 2, I get 3x equals 9, or x equals 3. Okay? So then, if I find one of those two lines, so if I put 3 back in there, 6 times 3 minus 2, or 18 minus 2 is 16. Or if I would have done the other one, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 7 is 16 also. So if I know that ND is 16, I also know that NE is 16. And then as far as finding NF, I also know, because of this right here, this and this are the same, I know that this is also on the perpendicular bisector. So that tells me that this is congruent to this. And if that's the case, then you know that NF is also 16. Okay? That's how you do the last one. The last couple like that on your worksheet. The last ones on your worksheet, 6 through 9, is where you'll need this. 4 and 5, you will need this. And 1 through 3, you'll use this. And that should take you through 6-2 day 1. There's the whole thing again.